Hello everyone, it's Friday, April 24th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your updated headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We do start with the most updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health. We have those figures for you related to COVID-19 cases here in the state of Ohio. Now, as a reminder, the way that's been reported has changed recently. Now the state is reporting not only confirmed positive cases from people who have had tests for COVID-19, but also probable cases of COVID-19. So this is under the expanded CDC definition that applies not only to the cases, but also to the number of deaths, also under that expanded CDC definition. So we'll give you those updated numbers now. We now have a total of 15,169 reported cases of COVID-19 here in the state of Ohio, and the total number of deaths is now 690. So we've been looking at how that has changed throughout the week and the number of new cases we're seeing each day. So from yesterday to today, that is a total of 475 new cases and a total of 34 new deaths. So it's been a bit up and down in terms of the number of new cases each day and the number of new deaths each day. This is the first day that we're seeing a smaller number of new deaths from yesterday to today than we have seen throughout the week previously. There are now 3,053 people who are hospitalized, and of those people, 920 are in the intensive care unit. The age range for people who have tested positive and are probably positive for COVID-19 remains less than 1 year old all the way to 106 years old, with that median age being 51, and the split with those confirmed cases and those probable cases being 58% male and 42% female. Now, if we want to take a look at how this has evolved through the week, if we look at the numbers that we got on Saturday at 2 p.m., on Saturday, we had 10,222 confirmed cases and probable cases of COVID-19 and a total of 451 deaths. So since that time, there are now 4,947 new cases and 239 new deaths. So that's an increase of about a third from last week to this point today in not only new cases, but also it's actually an increase of about half in deaths. The new numbers again landing at 15,169 reported cases of COVID-19 and 690 deaths. Worldwide, we're now looking at 2,767,000 cases of COVID-19 and almost 200,000 deaths. The number of deaths is 194,456. And here in the U.S., the death total has surpassed 50,000. The number of deaths here is now 50,373. These are based on numbers by CNN. And also, the number of cases is now 883,826 in the U.S. Now, there's been a lot of talk this week. We're expecting to hear more each day from Governor Mike DeWine about plans to start the reopening of the state of Ohio, but Ohio Democrats are saying that the state is not ready to open it again. Democratic representatives sent a letter to DeWine saying, "Our number one priority as a state must be to protect the health and safety of all Ohioans. We oppose any plan that disproportionately prioritizes the economy over people's lives." So that letter included some conditions that Democrats would like to see in order to feel safe about starting the reopening process here in Ohio, which DeWine has said would be a slow process. These are some of the conditions that were in that letter: expanded testing capacity and enough data on the size, scope, and spread of the virus in Ohio, which that data has been severely lacking; adequate supply of personal protective equipment and sanitation equipment; required use of masks in public spaces; precise guidelines for businesses that are proportional to the size of the business, the guidelines also being well publicized so that both employees and consumers are familiar with them; and also whistleblower protections for employees who report violations of safety guidelines. Remember, we do have an article on WKYC.com that provides information on how to report a violation of the stay-at-home order. Employees, but the point here is that they want employees to feel confident that they can report infractions without fear of retaliation. Also, accommodations for employees who have childcare needs, especially with schools, daycares, and summer camps closed for the foreseeable future, and to allow employees who can work from home to do so, in particular those who are at a higher risk or who take care of people who are at a higher risk. Now, a lot of these things are rolled into the plan that President Donald Trump's administration has recommended to the states, and we have a breakdown of that as well on WKYC.com. That's broken down into 3 phases. And DeWine has said the plan here in Ohio would be similar, and it follows a similar guideline as what's been laid out as the president has shared. Minority Leader Kenny Yuko has said, it's important that we get this absolutely right. If we reopen the economy without first increasing our testing capacity and without making sure that hospitals and businesses have enough PPE and cleaning supplies, we'll be putting too many lives at risk. The economy is not going to recover if customers are afraid to go shopping and employees are afraid to go to work. Now, another note on those hospitals, we did see DeWine allowing some elective surgeries to start to be put back on the calendar this week, and he did clarify those comments later about those elective surgeries. They do need to be something that the doctor thinks is basically necessary, not necessary because it's elective, but that there is a good proportion between the risk and what the benefit would be to the person who needs that elective surgery. So a little bit more information there. There is now a Sandusky man who has been released from prison after learning that he is COVID-19 positive. Nico Fandevan was released from the Marion Correctional Facility on Tuesday after being imprisoned on a 2-year sentence. The Marion Correctional Facility is now the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Ohio. More than 2,200 inmates and guards at the prison have tested positive for the life-threatening virus. Earlier this week, it was reported by the New York Times that it is the single largest concentration in a particular place of COVID-19 cases. Multiple studies now indicate that recovered patients are still testing positive, and some viruses leave a mark on the symptoms on their victims for the rest of their lives. So Ohio prison spokesperson Joe Ellen Smith said the state has been aggressive testing all the Marion and Pickaway Correctional Facility inmates. And in an email, she added, 95% of Marion inmates who tested positive had no symptoms of COVID-19, which is not something that is necessarily surprising to hear because we know a lot of people have been asymptomatic that have been testing positive, but that number is staggering. 95% with no symptoms. Nico said that he was tested a week ago and is feeling better. Ohio has seen a major jump in confirmed cases, as we talked about at the top of this, throughout the state. So we'll be keeping you updated as that story develops, particularly related to how the outbreak is being handled at the Marion Correctional Facility. A Special Wish Cleveland granted a wish for a young girl who's undergoing chemotherapy here in Northeast Ohio. This little girl had the privilege of Barrio, which is a lot of people's favorite restaurants, opening up just for her. It was 9-year-old Addie who had the special experience at Barrio. She's been dealing with cancer, first undergoing radiation treatment, now chemotherapy at UH Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. Because of the COVID-19 outbreak, restaurants, of course, had to shut down, as we know, and Addie and her family have not been able to have their usual trip to their favorite restaurant, which is Barrio. So Addie's mom, Mandy, told the team at A Special Wish Cleveland that Addie hasn't had an appetite during her chemo treatment and has only been craving one thing, Barrio queso. So A Special Wish Cleveland reached out to Barrio's team and executive chef Nico Chesnick, and they jumped at the opportunity to help Addie fulfill that craving. So Barrio decided to turn their lights back on, and they privately invited Addie and Addie's parents to a VIP queso tasting in Cleveland Heights. And of course, physical distancing was observed the entire time, so all of those guidelines were followed. So that was a really great experience for Addie. Thank you to the team at Barrio and at A Special Wish Cleveland for making that happen for Addie. If you want to see more about that story, it's on WKYC.com. Seniors are being honored in a very special way in Springfield. There's a Facebook group, Adopt a Spartan Senior 2020 Project, and that's helping to celebrate those graduates by showing them a little extra love. So people in the group adopt a senior and help lift their spirits with a special gift. The group is asking that volunteers send them a letter, a gift card, anything to warm the hearts and cheer up the seniors during this tough time where a lot of people are feeling a little upset, and a lot upset because they're not able to return to the schools where they've spent the last several years growing up and getting ready to move on to the next phase in their life. So here's how it works. There is one post per graduate, and you can start your post with not adopted and then share a few things about the senior and post a few of your favorite pictures of that senior. And then once that senior is adopted, you edit your post to remove the words not adopted. There are no limits for adopting. People can adopt multiple times of these seniors. So just go ahead and search through that Facebook group, and then you can find a senior if you would like to adopt in Springfield, Ohio. And there are a lot of seniors, according to the group, that have not yet been adopted, so that would be appreciated. What we're doing here to help honor seniors that are missing out on those milestones here at WKYC is we have an initiative called Senior Shoutouts. And this is what we want to do. We want you to send us photos of your high school seniors. And if you're a high school senior yourself, you can send us a photo of yourself. And we want to highlight those seniors as much as we can for the next several weeks and make sure our seniors feel all the love and all the support, and that they know that we're so proud of them. This is such a huge milestone. You know, it's going to feel a little bit different as schools try and figure out how to have those graduation ceremonies and honor those people in those awards ceremonies and all those things that were used to happening in person in a big group. So this is a small way that we want to help share and spread the light on the great seniors that we have here in our Northeast Ohio community and show how proud we are. So just go to wkyc.com/senior shoutouts to submit, and then we will be sharing those photos in the coming weeks. You'll see that online, on the air, on our mini TV shows, and we really want to, celebrate those people. So help us out with that. wkyc.com/senior shoutouts. Now, it is Friday, so if you are looking for things to do this weekend, I want to let you know a couple highlights that are happening. Of course, yesterday we talked about how the Stan Hewitt Gardens in Akron are now open to the public. Those gardens are open Wednesday through Sunday from 8:30 to 10 for seniors only, and then from 10 to 3 for everyone else. But do keep this in mind. All of the buildings are closed, including the restrooms. So take a bathroom break before you go to the gardens, but the gardens are in bloom, so you can walk around and enjoy those and keep your physical distance. A couple other cool things happening on Saturday. The Beatles' Yellow Submarine cartoon sing-along, that's happening on Saturday. That will stream on YouTube for free at 12 p.m. Eastern, and they'll have the lyrics on the screen there, so everybody can sing along. That's for children and parents and everybody else, everybody in between, and everybody on either end of that. That'll be a fun experience. And then also, you can watch SNL on Saturday night. They have a new show coming back. It's another at-home edition, and they've not announced the host yet, so that'll be a surprise for everyone on Saturday night. All right, that's it for your top headlines today at 2 p.m. Now you can catch more information from us on what's new at 5 p.m. I will see you there. Also, you can catch us in What Matters Most at 6 p.m., on Front Row at 7, and on What's Next at 11 p.m. And then, of course, Governor Mike DeWine is in his press conference right now, so you can find that on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, and also on Facebook and YouTube. And I will see you back here on Monday morning at 11 a.m. I'm Stephanie Haney. Everybody have a great weekend.